chess friends, and welcome to Azarov's chess channel, and welcome to the TCEC Cup finals. So this Cup finals is really, I think, a great format of a tournament, because we have now the so-called KO system, so who loses is out. We have 32 top engines battling for the throne, and if you lose the game, as I said, you're out. I think this is a better format than this league format that was played in the TCEC season 16, because we saw that Lila C0 had troubles. Lila C0 was the only engine that hasn't lost a game, but didn't participate in the finals because Lila C0 played too many draws. On the other hand, Stockfish and Liechtenstein, even with some losing games, managed to get it to the finals because they won many games. And I think this format, this KO format, fits much more for Lila C0, because in the direct combat against Stockfish, Lila C0 had a positive result in the TCEC season 16. So I think we will have again the finals, Lila C0 against Stockfish, and I'm really looking forward to see who is better, who is going to win this TCEC Cup final. So today I wanted to show you a game. Again, it was a game played by Stockfish against this engine Chess22K, and you saw in my previous video of the series that Stockfish crushed Chess22K after 17 moves. Chess22K resigned after 17 moves, and I think it was really the shortest TCEC chess game played ever in history. So Stockfish won this match game against Chess22K with the result 5-0. So this other engine basically didn't have any chances to somehow harm a little bit Stockfish's ability to play. And today I wanted to show you also a great attacking brilliancy by Stockfish in the so-called Petrov system, which was also played in this previous video that I've shown you. And the problem about this opening that I wanted to show you today is you can guess, you can maybe answer this question: who is better, which is better, 3 pieces or queen? I don't know. I sometimes played these types of lines with when I have 3 pieces on the board and playing against a queen. It's really tough to win these games, because this queen always can create this perpetual check and similar ideas, some discovered checks. And but I realized now when I watch this Stockfish game that you should place basically play on this idea to place your pieces on the most active squares. When you have 3 pieces playing against the queen, you should place them really on the best square as possible. So it means that maybe the bishops should be on the best diagonals, placed like this here on maybe this very powerful diagonal. So the knights, of course, in the center, and similar ideas, and also the rooks in the center. So this is really important to realize now Stockfish's game today that I wanted to show you, because Stockfish played on the simple idea, just improved the position of his minor pieces through the whole game, and then he found some tactical shots, and that's why he won the game eventually. So here, let's see the game. E4 played by Stockfish. We have E5 by Chess22K, knight on F3, knight on F6, the Russian game, the Petrov's defense. So here, knight takes on E5, we have D6, knight on F3, knight takes on E4, D4, D5, and now bishop on D3. This particular move order was also played in the first game that I've covered so far. Here, bishop on D6, and now castling, and now comes this move C4. This was also played in the previous game. So we have C6, we have rook on E1, attacking, of course, the knight. You cannot take, you can never take this pawn on C4, and now bishop on F5. If you try F5 to cement this knight in the center, it's really dangerous, because first we can play knight on C3. So you would love to stay with your knight outposted like this here on E4. It's very well placed. You want to build your attack around it. Of course, if something captures, then you would love to recapture with the F pawn, deflect this knight from the defense, and open the F file. But it's not possible, because after the move knight on C3, you can maybe try to support your D5 pawn. But here, after queen on B3, we have a really risky game. Already the pawn on B7 is hanging. After queen on B6, we have queen takes on B6, and now a takes B6. You can simply undermine really black's central control here with the pawns. After bishop on D5, you lose some material, because you lose the pawn here, so that's why you would be forced to take with the pawn. And you see now this bishop is blocked out by its own pawn, and it's basically useless. We have now better activity with our own pieces. We can play something like knight on b5. It's very dangerous, and now you see you have to retreat with the bishop somewhere. If you recapture here with the knight, then you lose the bishop. There are also some fork possibilities with knight on c7 attacking the rook and the bishop on e6. So you see white's position is much better, and black would be probably losing here in this particular line. So as said, after rook on e1, we have bishop on f5 supporting now this e4 with the bishop, and now queen on b3. Anyway, we have knight on a6, and this is now chess 22k. It's really tricky idea. The game, this particular game was played in a match game between Nair and against Fabiano Caruana. Caruana played this particular line with the black pieces, managed to get a draw, and here we have c takes d5. And what chess 22k has prepared here is really this tricky line with knight on c5, leaving the knight hanging, but of course trying to recapture with the knight and create a fork against the queen and the bishop, because the bishop is also attacking this coverly here, the bishop on d3. So here Stockfish took the challenge, simply playing d takes c5. We have knight takes on c5, and now bishop on f5, sacrificing the queen. Knight takes on b3, and now a takes b3, and we have now 3 pieces for the queen. And you see now how Stockfish really improves the position of the pieces through the whole game, because you see, if you could just notice here that the pieces are a little bit loose, they're all over the board. What you want to do is to fix them somehow, to place them on firm squares, on supported squares, and that's why here first c takes d5 was played by chess 22k, and now knight on c3, attacking the pawn. Now it's all about pawns. We want to get rid of this pawn because this is a pass pawn. If we don't catch this pawn, it could be really dangerous for Stockfish. So that's why here chess 22k played on a tactic. After knight takes on d4, we have bishop on h2, king takes on h2, and now queen on d4, king on g1, retreating with the king, securing the king. And now let's see how really Stockfish improved the position through the whole game. Here after queen on b6, first of course bishop on c2, protecting the pawn. After a6, bishop on e3. It comes with the tempo, the queen has to retreat. After queen on c7, we have b4, very important move to maybe trade off even this pawns here and get an active knight here on maybe b5, and then after that on d6. Here rook on e8 was played by chess 22k, and now rook on bishop on b3, and here queen on e7, and now knight on d5. Knight on d5, you see this knight is now outposted knight, it's cemented, it's supported. We want to support it even with some rooks, of course, rook on e2, rook on d2, and then rook on d1, and similar ideas, because now our attack will be simply around this knight, because this knight will never be kicked away by a minor piece here by of blacks. You will never give up your rook for this knight, because then you're continuing an endgame in which black would have 2 rooks and a bishop for a queen, and it would be basically game over. So you see, there's no way for black to kick away this knight from d5, and this is now a very important strategical element in the game. So after queen on e5, we have rook on e2, preparing to play rook on d2, and as I said, doubling up rooks on the d file. Rook from a to d8, and now rook on d2. We have king on h8, and this is now risky because there are some discovered attack possibilities after bishop on d4, because you see, if you try to get the rook maybe on e7, then of course you cannot capture the pawn on the knight on d5. So here bishop on d4, as I said, played. And now what to do here? If you take here rook takes on d5, then of course we can first take. You cannot take this bishop because we have discovered check here, and you lose the queen. You can also take the queen immediately. Here after rook takes on d2, we can simply play bishop on c3 and again fix the position. Now this f7 pawn is hanging. We can improve the position of the rook somehow, and you see this pawn you can never take. This also, you're basically forced maybe to give up a rook for a bishop and a pawn, but again you see white has another piece and has of course a completely winning endgame here. So that's why after the bishop on d4, queen on g5 was played, and now rook on d1. Now you see how the pieces are really glued together, they're fixed, they're firm, and now what to do here from black's perspective. Although you have the queen, you can dance a little bit around white's king, I don't know, can prepare something, but this activity of these two bishops, of this centralized knight, of this battery on the d file is too much to handle here for black, I think. Rook on e1, here chess 22k try to simplify the position, but it's not a good choice. Here after rook takes on e1, we have queen on d2, and now bishop on c3. You see, even with this tactical idea of chess 22k's, here Stockfish even improved the position of his pieces. Now the bishop is even better, so it's not a problem. And you see black has also some backtrack problems, so you cannot take this knight on d5 and similar ideas. So that's why queen on g5 again g3, simply getting some breathing space for the king. King on g8, and now rook on e5, again moving forward. Look, pay good attention how Stockfish moves now forward, just improving all of his pieces. Now the rook is on a better square. Queen on g4, played again by chess 22k, and now knight on e3 with an attack against the queen. Queen on g6, and now you see knight on f5. You see how Stockfish jumps around with the knight. The idea is now to place the knight on even on a better square here on d6. So here queen on g4 was played. Now knight on d6. You see again Stockfish is moving forward. You cannot take, of course, you cannot take the knight because you get checkmated on the back rank. So king on f8. Now knight takes on f7. You see how dangerous these minor pieces of whites are. The rook is supported. This knight is now attacking the rook. Rook on d7, and again you see moving the knight. The knight is really dancing all over the board. Rook on e7. Again, black is trying to simplify the position to trade off the rooks, but then again here very nice move, knight on e6, again dancing with the knight. King on e8, and now rook on c5. You cannot take this knight on e6 because simple bishop takes on e6. If you take queen on e6, then rook on e5, and you lose some decisive material, you lose the queen, and white is continuing the game with the bishop, and that's why it would be again a favorable endgame for white. So after rook on c5, again you see Stockfish improves the position, again activates the rook, and now the serious threat is here to play a check on c8. Queen on e4, now comes this check. Rook on c8, we have king on d7, and now rook on d8. You see how Stockfish uses really beautiful these pieces. King on c6, and now bishop on d5, and this is now the critical moment. Basically it's game over here. There are now several choices here. If you try rook on pardon me, after bishop on d5, queen takes on d5 first was played by chess 22k, and here if you try rook on d5, okay, it's still winning probably, but here after king takes on d5, you would battle here for win because you have to retreat with the knight, battle against the pawns, try to get a pass pawn here. But here after bishop on d5, the idea after queen on d5 is not to take the queen immediately, then to play first knight on d4. Check. Now the king has to retreat from the defense of this queen, or you have to give up the queen. So the best way, of course, for black is here to take the knight with the queen. Queen takes on d4, and now rook takes on d4. We have rook on f7, and now king on g2. Not a problem. King on b5. We simply push forward. f4. King on a4. Basically, it's game over for black. But let's see the continuation. King on f3. King on b5, simply pushing forward this pawn, trying to get a pass pawn, which here Stockfish did. G takes f5, rook on f8, rook on c4, and now after rook on c7, it's really game over. You lose another pawn in the next move. b6 was played. Now f6, h5. We have here f7, h4, and now bishop on g7. In this position, chess 22k resigned because you lose the rook. In the next move, we can grab this pawn, get our king back, and there's no way that black can promote with these two pieces. Okay, great game by Stockfish. Great moment. This let's go back. It was really something else, I think. Here after this c takes d5 move. Here knight takes knight on c5 with this attack. Here giving up three pieces for the queen, and you see how Stockfish really played very actively with his minor pieces, and of course won the game eventually. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. Meanwhile, you can watch my other commented chess games played by computers with some more Stockfish, Lila C0, and many more. And you can also watch my best chess games of all time if you want to see Garry Kasparov, Mikhail Tal, and all of these best chess players playing in their chess games in chess history. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.